First thing I'd like for you to do is to imagine that you've been saving up for a year to go on vacation, but not just any vacation, a vacation to Hawaii. And yes, it takes 12 hours on plane to get to Hawaii, but you know what? You don't really care, because for a long time you've imagined what the palm trees will look like, what the mango will taste like, what the sweet, salty air will feel like as you walk off of the plane for the first time. And as soon as you get to the airport, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to run up to the first Hawaiian that you see. You're going to extend your hand to greet them, because that's what you do. You're just so excited to meet the first Hawaiian that you see. But instead of them reaching out their hand, what they do is they take both hands, they put their hands on your head like this, they bring your head towards you, and your heads are touching, and they breathe in, and they breathe out. You breathe in, and you breathe out. And it's about this time that you realize, and you think, you know what? Atlanta is really pretty this time of year. What he just did is called the Hawaiian Kiss. And to fully appreciate this cultural practice, we'll first need to understand three things. First thing you want to understand is the context behind it, or why it's acceptable for two people to touch heads and breathe really close to each other in one culture, and over here, in this culture, it's a little weird. The second thing you need to understand is the history of it, where it came from, when it originated, if we even know when it originated. And the third thing that we need to understand is there any room in this society for this practice? Now, going back to the context of it, there's a popular YouTube video going around on Facebook right now. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's of a bride and a groom who have just gotten married. The bride is Hawaiian, and the guests are performing this ceremony dance. It's called the haka, and it's very popular in Hawaiian culture. And in this dance, they're very animated, very passionate, and that's very symbolic of what Hawaiian culture is like. They're very open, very vulnerable with each other. And as you watch the bride and groom, you can tell that they're getting very emotional. Now, when the dance ends, what the bride and groom do is they go up to each of their guests and they give them the Hawaiian kiss. And while they're giving them the Hawaiian kiss, what this means is, I see you, I know you, and I trust you. Once again, this is very symbolic of the openness and the vulnerability that the Hawaiian culture has. Now, the history of this Hawaiian kiss is very simple. Like every culture in the world, the Hawaiian culture has an origin story. And this origin story itself is very simple. There is a sky lord. His name is Wakea, and what he does is he gives off this mist or this light rain to the mountains and to the earth, and this produces vegetation, and the vegetation will then lead to human life. When he gives this mist, it's also known as the breath of life, and in Hawaiian culture, the breath of life is known as the ha. So I would like for each of you to give a nice ha. Go ahead.
Ha.
Perfect. You guys will fit right in to Hawaiian culture. Now, if this origin story sounds familiar, it means that you just got done reading Genesis 2, and you probably need to catch up on your Bible reading challenge for the year. But on a serious note, this is very similar to what Genesis 2, chapter 7 says, where it talks about God breathing his life into the nostrils of Adam, giving him the breath of life. And after that, Adam is known as a living creature. Now, in terms of when this practice started, originated, we don't really know. But what we do know is that it has been going on for as long as Hawaiian history has been told. Now, the last thing we'll go over is there any place in today's society for this Hawaiian culture, for this practice, or what this practice represents? And I would say with a resounding yes. With its openness and vulnerability, that's exactly what this culture needs. Now this practice has only been performed on me personally once, and it was while I was a missionary in Hawaii, and my missionary companion and I got a call one night late from someone who had been having family issues, and he had been dealing with these family issues with alcohol. Now when we got there, he was in his garage and he was sitting down, and what we did is we just sat down and we listened to him. And he just talked for about an hour and a half, just telling us everything that had been going on. Now when he was done, we got up to leave, and of course I extended my hand to give my condolences and to say goodbye, as I knew how to say goodbye. But what he did is he immediately reached for my head, and automatically I went back because, one, he's intoxicated. Two, I don't really know the guy. But after a little bit of explaining on his end and a little bit of embarrassment on my end, we continued with the Hawaiian Kiss. And so he placed his hands on my head and we touched heads, and he breathed in and he breathed out. And what he was saying is, you have seen me, you know me now, and because of that, I trust you. And hopefully, as we've gone over and we've learned about this practice, the context of this practice and its culture, the history of it, and its place in today's society, hopefully you have understood a little bit better now about Hawaiian culture. And hopefully at some point in your life, you can have someone that you can portray this practice with, maybe not in words, but in actions. Of course, you may never actually do the practice where you hold someone's head and bring them to you, but hopefully you can tell this person that I know you, I have seen you, and I trust you. And this is the Hawaiian Kiss.